Now, your host, Checkers the Inventor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Checkers Library TV. We are so happy you're here joining us for our show, the very last show in our entire summer season. We thank you so much for joining us all summer long. We had a tremendous time, and we can't wait to get into this brand new show for today. But before I go any further, I have to introduce my friend, my robot pal, Snoozer.
Whoa! I'm here!
All right, well, it's great to see Snoozer is ready to go. We can't wait. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's get on with the show. Well, it is the week of September 7th all the way up to September 13th. And as always, we want to look at what we are celebrating for this week. First and foremost, we do want to wish everybody celebrating a birthday this week a happy birthday. So happy birthday from everyone here at Checkers Library TV. So, Snoozer, instead of having our normal celebrations where we talk about all the things going on this week, we want to kind of look back on our summer and talk about all the great things we've done throughout the summer. But before that, we do want to mention that September 7th is Labor Day. So Labor Day is sort of celebrating the end of summer, going back into school, going back to work, especially our teachers who are going back to work, and kind of getting back into the swing of things, right? One season's ending, and we're starting another, even though summer doesn't officially end until later in the month. But we do want to wish everybody celebrating Labor Day, however you may be doing that, a happy Labor Day. All right, well, we had a wonderful time with you this summer on Checkers Library TV. Let's talk about some of my favorite things. So let's see. My favorite thing we did on Checkers Library TV, well, I really like doing science experiments. Whenever we get a chance to talk about science experiments, learning things with you guys, showing you guys some science demonstrations, that's always a lot of fun. We like to learn. We learned about acids and bases. We learned a little bit about air pressure. So anytime we get to kind of go out and get our hands dirty, starting doing some science experiments is always a lot of fun. We really, really enjoyed that part of this. Now, something else we like doing was art projects. We love checking out new things we can build, just like a science experiment. We get to kind of make something. That's always a lot of fun. So I had fun making the paper airplanes. That was cool for me. Now, one other thing I really love is whenever we get a message from you guys, when we get to read messages you have on the show, when you guys sent in things for the question of the week, anything like that, we really enjoyed. So thank you guys so much for sending stuff in all summer long. Now, Snoozer, what was your favorite thing we did this summer?
My favorite part was the Snoozer adventures, the celebrations, and of course, the joke of the week.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a lot of fun. All your jokes, I hope you can keep the jokes up because we're moving into our fall season next.
Oh, please. There's plenty more where that came from.
Now, I also agree the celebrations were really cool. I didn't know there were so many things to celebrate all year long, so many cool days, interesting facts I got to learn. That was a lot of fun for me. Anytime we were talking about stuff with celebrations, and of course, talking about books with you, having Mrs. Hamilton read books, Dr. Dan with the healthy tips of the week, I enjoyed all of that. It was also very interesting and very amazing to have guests on every week for Let's Get to Know, anywhere from people who are working with puppets to people who are working with bees. We had firefighters, the wildlife experts, people who work on aerobics and exercise. We had a bookstore owner and so much more. It was really, really fascinating getting to know these people. So many cool stories out there, interesting stories where people come from, telling how they came about what they're doing, why they love it so much, and of course, answering our fast questions. That was great too. So we really enjoyed that all summer long. We really, really want to thank all the guests who were on Let's Get to Know. Now, what else did you like doing this summer, Snoozer?
I liked watching Scooby-Doo and all the movies we talked about.
Yes, it's true. We talked about movies, and that's another thing a lot of people might not know libraries provide, but libraries have a wide selection of movies you guys can take out at the library. And it's amazing. I was at a library once, and they had so many movies that I didn't even know libraries had. Really, any movie you see in theaters, some movies don't come out in theaters. There's animated films, there's live action films, so many different interesting films you can check out at the library, and it's completely free with your library card. So that's something to definitely remember. If you have a movie you want to check out, you don't have to always spend a lot of money on it. You can sometimes get it for free at the library. Make sure you're checking out movies and books at the library. So many services your library offers. I hope you're taking advantage of all of them. Well, Snoozer, we do have a great show coming for you today. It's our last one of the summer season, so we can't wait to get to everything. I'm going to be back with Checkers Loves Books. Mrs. Hamilton's got a great book on Storytime Theater. Dr. Dan's coming back with another health tip of the week, and so much more, including the Snoozer joke. And I can't wait to get to everything. It's going to be great, but we will check back with you later, right here on Checkers Library TV.
Did you know? The oldest library in the world dates from the 7th century BC. One of the most overdue library books in the world was returned after 122 years. There's a magician's library in New York. Abracadabra! Librarians used to have to learn a specific style of handwriting. The library has tons of books about, libraries. Visit the library to learn more.
Welcome to Let's Get to Know, the part of the show where we go out into the community, we meet some really cool people, and we learn more about them. And today, we're doing something a little special. We are getting to know someone who you've seen a lot of on Checkers Library TV, but we have not got to know yet. And we are getting to know Mrs. Hamilton, the host of Storytime Theater. That's going to be really exciting, and that's why I have my transporting microphone. Let's go meet Mrs. Hamilton. Oh, hi, Mrs. Hamilton.
Well, hello, Checkers. I was just getting ready to do Storytime Theater.
Oh, well, that's great because we are on Let's Get to Know. We wanted to get to know you. Is that all right?
Oh, well, I guess so.
All righty. Well, we're very excited to get to know Mrs. Hamilton and learn more about you. Now, you are, on top of doing Storytime Theater, you're also a teacher, right?
That's correct. I teach kindergarten.
So how long have you been teaching kindergarten and preschool and kids like that?
Well, I have been teaching children in the early childhood level for about 25 years. I've been a teacher for 30 years, but specializing in early childhood for about 25 years now.
Wow. So what's like your favorite thing about it?
Oh, my favorite, I love working with children. I think children that are 3, 4, and 5, there's nothing better. They love everything you do. They think you're beautiful. They think you're funny. Everything you teach them, there's such joy that emulates out of their face. It's because it makes every day a teachable moment and so enjoyable.
So you also, of course, read stories in Storytime Theater. Is that something that you'll also do in your classroom?
Oh, yes. I love reading, I love singing, and I love teaching kids and watching them grow and thrive every day.
That's very cool. That's great. So you've been teaching for 25 years, you work with children. Is there like something that you'd say is the hardest part about what you do?
The beginning of the year is always a struggle, just because some of them are coming to me and they've never been in a school setting before, but after about a couple weeks, they are full steam ahead, and I just watch it go on from there, and it's a joy to watch.
So some kids work on different levels than others. Is that all right? Is that something that you can work with?
Oh, for sure. No child is alike. So some come in, they don't know anything. Within a month, they're at the top of the class, and vice versa. So every kid grows at their own level and their own rate. And what one kid is great at, one kid may not know any letters, but he can assemble a 100-piece jigsaw puzzle in about a minute. So.
Oh yeah, you read a story in Storytime Theater kind of about that, about how we all have gifts and things that we're really good at, and we just have to find out what that is.
Yes, that's right.
So, all right, well, I have one other question for you now. I know that you have just started a brand new thing, which is called Mrs. Hamilton's Classroom, and this is like a virtual offering?
Yes, well, last year when COVID struck, I started teaching my students virtually, and thought about it all summer, and I really wanted to offer something to children that are 3, 4, 5 years old that don't have a school to go to, either due to restrictions with the government or their parents are opting to homeschool them, and I wanted an outlet for them to go to preschool. I'm going to make it as interactive as possible, and I want to reach kids from all across the country and world if possible.
Oh, that's really cool. You can have students really on many different homes, and this is every day, right?
Yes, it's going to be 5 days a week. And my website is mrshamiltonsclassroom.com. I have some free sample videos that you can watch. And our first day of school is going to be Tuesday, September 8th.
All right, well, Mrs. Hamilton, we do have something very important. It is the 7 quick questions. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I guess so.
All right, well, let's get them out. Here we go. What's your favorite breakfast food?
I would have to say omelet.
All right, dream vacation.
That'll be Florida.
What is your favorite movie?
Okay. I like my favorite movie, Toy Story. Toy Story 1.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Swimming or biking?
Probably biking.
And last question, what's one interesting thing about you that we don't know yet?
Well, if you watch Mrs. Hamilton's Classroom, you know I love to sing, but I also sing professionally. I sing at weddings and I cantor at church, and singing is a big part of my life as well as teaching.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it's also great that you can sing and that you can make that part of your classroom.
That's right.
Kids, of course, love singing. Everybody loves singing. So
That's right. It's a great tool for teaching kids. They're
Yeah.
learning and they don't even know it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Mrs. Hamilton, we had a great time getting to know you. We really enjoyed it. And we will have another special guest here next time on Let's Get to Know.
If you would like to email Checkers and Snoozers, send your emails to checkers@checkerslibrarytv.com. We always look forward to hearing from you.
Boys and girls, the story I'm going to read to you today is called Red is Best. And the author of this story is Kathy Stinson. And the illustrator is Robin Baird Lewis. Red is best. I like my red stockings the best. My mom says, wear these. Your white stockings look good with that dress. But I can jump higher in my red stockings. I like my red stockings the best. I like my red jacket the best. My mom says, you need to wear your blue jacket. It's too cold out for your red jacket. But how can I be Red Riding Hood in my blue jacket? I like my red jacket the best. I like my red boots the best. My mom says, you can't wear your red boots in the snow. They're just for rainy weather. But my red boots take bigger steps. I like my red boots the best. I like my red mitts the best. My mom says, your brown mitts are warmer. Your red mitts have holes in them. But my red mitts make better snowballs. I like my red mitts the best. My mom says your yellow pajamas will keep you warm when you kick off your blankets. But my red pajamas keep the monsters away when I'm sleeping. I like my red pajamas the best. I like my red cup the best. My mom says, oh, Kelly, what difference does it make? I already poured it in the green cup. But juice tastes better in the red cup. I like my red cup the best. I like my red barrettes the best. My mom says, you wear pink barrettes with a pink dress. But my red barrettes make my hair laugh. I like my red barrettes the best. I like red paint the best. My mom says, but Kelly, there is hardly any red paint left. Maybe you could choose orange instead. but my red paint puts singing in my head. I like my red paint the best. I like red because red is best. Well, I like that story. Do you have a favorite color? Sometimes when you have something that's special to you, it just makes everything seem better. So I hope you have a great week and you enjoy something that's your favorite color. I'll see you all next time on Storytime Theater.
Welcome to Art Project, and this is going to be kind of cool. We're at a different spot this time. You're in my Checkers computer area. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is called stop motion animation. Now, I've mentioned animation a few times on this show, but today's interesting because stop motion animation is a kind of animation that you can do right from home. It's something you can use to get started in. You can get really good on it. There's people in the internet who are amazing at stop motion animation. So the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. But I'm going to talk a little bit about it now. Animation has been around for a while, and so has stop motion animation. If you think about whenever you see a movie with a big monster, a dragon, anything like that, today they use computers to make that in movies. But back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up until the early 1990s, there wasn't a lot of computer animation in films. Really until the film Toy Story, when a full film could be made with computers, there had to be different ways to create animation. So there were entire films that were made out of stop motion animation. But in the early days of film, there were creatures, like I said, dragons or monsters or things like King Kong were made using stop motion animation. And they made these puppets, they were called armatures, and they would build these creations where you could move their different body parts. And how stop motion works is you take a picture of something. So if you have something like this guy right here, I'm gonna put him down on this stool here. Now, if I want to animate this character, what I'm gonna do is take a picture of it, right? That's what stop motion animation is. You take a picture of something, and then you move it ever so slightly, and you take another picture. And when you string all those pictures together, what you'll have is a finished piece of animation. It creates the illusion that this little figure is moving across this stool here. So let me show you what an animated creation of this looks like. It's gonna be real quick. Watch this. So I took a bunch of photos and I put them together, and it looked like my little knight was moving across the stool. Now, if you want to create a stop motion creation like this, you can get better at it. You can use anything you want though. You can use something you find around the house, like a building block. You could use your own phone. You could use your hand even, but that would be kind of tricky. You can really use whatever you want. A lot of people like to start with simple things like a ball or like a block or one of their toys, anything like that. And when you get better and better at it, if you really want to get great at it, you could even create those armatures that I was talking about, like they use for King Kong, where you can build little puppets that you can move around so you can have their fingers move, their arms move. Look on the internet at some of the things that people have made. It's really, really quite amazing what you see people can create and animate with. But you can start right from home, even with a camera you have lying around the house. All you'll need is a camera. You'll need something to move and animate with. Those are the two things you'll need. If you want to get better at it, you can add some lighting. But here's how it works with the camera. All you need to make sure you have is a camera, and you gotta make sure that camera stays completely still, because if you're moving your camera around even on your phone, it's gonna mess with the animation. So even if you have something simple like a tripod like this, you can put your phone right in, because everyone has phones pretty much. Your parents will have a phone. You might even have a phone yourself. All the phones have is a camera on them. So you've got your camera, get it nice and still in something like this tripod here. Let me get that all set. As you can see, right there. And now you are ready to animate. So you're gonna get it set like this on your photo setting, and then you'll take a picture. You'll move it a little bit, take a picture. Move your object a little bit more, take a picture. Now the only problem with this is it could be really boring to be sitting there moving things around and taking pictures. But if you love what you're doing, you'll have a lot of fun with it. Now, one of my favorite things in my life to do is to see my finished project come together. So you work really hard on it, you're taking pictures, moving things, and then when you get to watch that finished creation, that is the best part. So if you can stick it out through then, it's really great to see how it all comes together. Tedious process though. Tedious, that means that, it takes a long time. It's kind of boring and slow, but it's a lot of work, all for a great cause. So if you want to learn more about animation, see if your library has a book on stop motion animation. They can tell you some techniques and things that I don't even know about yet, because I still have to learn just like you guys. Definitely check out stop motion animation. Thank you so much for joining us for a very interesting and unique art project, and we can't wait to see you next time.
And now it's time for...
The joke of the week. I read a book last night on anti-gravity. It was really hard to put down. All gravity jokes.
To Checkers Loves Books. This is the part of the show where I recommend books that I think you should be reading. And we have two books to talk about today. As always, books for younger readers and books for older readers. And the book for younger readers today is this right here. It is called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Now this book is about a tree and a little boy, and the tree is always wanting to help the little boy and make the little boy feel better and give the little boy things that he needs. And if we think about it, trees are giving us a lot of important things. Trees give us leaves, they have wood on them, and some trees even have fruits on them, like apple trees, there's peach trees, all sorts of trees across the world that we use for things. And that's really interesting, but when you're thinking about this book, it's telling the story of this little boy growing up and getting older, and as he's getting older, that tree is always helping him out. And by the way, trees also are giving us oxygen. They're one of the plants that give us oxygen, so they are so important to our lives. And it's really interesting seeing this boy grow up and live with this tree and learn from the tree, and you even see him get older at the end of the story. So I'm not going to tell you everything that happens, but it's a really nice story. It's really a wonderful tale about this boy growing up and having this relationship and this friendship with the tree. Now, one of the things I like about this book is the illustrations. Now, unlike some of the books I've talked about that have a lot of colors and they're really beautiful to look at, this book has very simple artwork. As you can see here, there's just kind of lines on paper. There's a little bit here, but not too much. It's pretty simple. It's pretty well put together and not much to it. And that is sometimes a good thing. Sometimes it's really easy to focus on one or two things that are happening on the page rather than having so much going on and so many colors and things to look at that you can get distracted from the point. This book has a great message to it. So this is actually one of those books that it's really nice that it's very simplistic in its illustrations. And just because they're simplistic doesn't mean they're not really fun to look at. They are really nicely drawn pictures that you'll enjoy throughout the book while you're either reading the book by yourself or having your moms and dads read the book to you. So we have The Giving Tree for the younger readers. I think you're going to definitely love this book. But for the older readers, we have this book right here, which is Encyclopedia Brown, the series. So Encyclopedia Brown, a series of books, not just one book, but there's a whole bunch of them. And now it's about a boy named Encyclopedia Brown. His real name is Leroy, but everybody calls him Encyclopedia because he knows so much, he's so smart, and he's one of those detectives. He's researching and he's finding clues and solving mysteries. He actually has his own company that he starts, even though he's just a kid. He's got a friend named Sally Kimball, who's kind of his friend and also somebody who is his business partner on his detective company. Now his dad is a police officer, that's Chief Brown, Chief of Police. And Encyclopedia Brown is even solving some of his father's cases. He's working with his mom sometimes, and he's working against a group called the Tigers, and they're kind of bullies in the school, and he's got to go up against them. They're the antagonists, and you'll see them in a lot of books throughout the series. And they live in a town called Idaville. Now, it is a series, but it's self-contained, and that means you don't have to read the whole series. Remember I talked about the Harry Potter books on Checkers Loves Books, and those books, you kind of want to read all of them. You might be lost if you're reading book 6, but in this series is kind of, you can read one book, you can read a different book, and they're very contained. They're their own story. So don't worry about reading all the books or starting at the first one. You can read these books. They have 10 mini mysteries in every book, and each one of those is also self-contained, which is great. Now, if you like how one mystery is going, you can keep reading through, read this book, read the whole series, and you'll really love doing that. And this is another thing I like about these mystery books, is that as the reader, you can try to solve these mysteries as you're reading them, right? So you see some of the clues as they're given to you, hear some things, how they're going, and you want to figure out why this is happening, who's behind this, who's doing this. and sometimes you'll be right, sometimes you won't be right, but that is the best part, when the book can even sometimes surprise you. Now, this book series started being published all the way back in 1963, and they were writing these books all the way up till 2012. So a long history and a whole bunch of books, but we have the Encyclopedia Brown books for the older readers. Definitely check these out, and don't forget, younger readers, we have The Giving Tree. So we've got two great books to talk about for the younger readers and the older readers. Check these books out and check out more books at the library. We will see you next time here on Checkers Loves Books.
Would you like the chance to have your very own keepsake of Checkers and Snoozer in your home? Now you can have your own Checkers and Snoozer books or your own Snoozer plush toy. Excellent for birthdays, holiday presents, special achievements, or just to have the fun of Checkers and Snoozer in your family's home. Order yours today at www.checkerstheinventor.com store.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Dan. Welcome to our health tip of the week, our last tip of the entire summer. Now, all summer, we've talked about all kinds of great things. We've talked about eating right. We've talked about exercise. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about reading. We've talked about some safety tips around the house. We've talked about all kinds of great ways to stay healthy. Now today, as a final message, I want to talk about the number one way to stay healthy, and that is being yourself. The best way to stay healthy is to simply be ourselves and do the healthy choices and the right things that we like to do. Now, what does being ourselves mean when it comes to staying healthy? Well, it can mean a lot of different things. It could be sleeping the amount we need to sleep to feel rested. It could be eating the amount of fruits and vegetables that it takes our body to really get all those great nutrients. It could be playing the sports we like. It could be reading the books we like. The important thing is to always be ourselves and do the things that we like to do and that keep us healthy. Not our friends, not our brothers and sisters, not our mom and dad, but us. We should do the healthy things that we like to do, that we're gonna do over and over to stay healthy. All right, everyone, well, it's been a fantastic summer. I hope you learned a few things from me. I've certainly learned a lot from you, and I've enjoyed every minute of this. I'm Dr. Dan, and let's get back to Checkers Library TV.
Checkers Library TV is made possible by libraries across America. Support your local library today. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this fantastic show right here on Checkers Library TV. We enjoyed you guys joining us today and all summer long, and we can't wait for all of you who are going to be back with us next week as we continue Checkers Library TV. We had a lot of fun today. We had so much great stuff. Mrs. Hamilton, Dr. Dan back. We like talking and getting to know Mrs. Hamilton a little bit better, and what an amazing thing she's going to be doing with her Mrs. Hamilton's classroom. That is really cool. And so much more. We had so much fun with you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Now, we do have something to announce. We have the winner of our contest. We had a contest a few weeks back. We talked about giving away this Checkers and Snoozer poster. It was from Snoozer and the Beanstalk, and you had to count all the secret snoozers that were hiding in the back. So we had our first response, and that means whoever responded first with the correct answer was our winner, and the winner was Aiden from the Derby Neck Library System. So congratulations, Aiden. You did win our prize. We will have that sent to you very soon. It'll be signed by Checkers and Snoozer, and you did a great job. The answer was 5. There were 5 secret snoozers hiding in the background of our show. So great job, Aiden, and congratulations.
Congratulations, Aiden! Yahoo!
So we're going to be back for our fall season. It's going to run all the way up until next May. So it's going to run for the entire school year season, and we can't wait to get into more Checkers Library TV. We're going to have more great guests on Let's Get to Know. There's going to be a lot of cool and unique stuff coming to you guys. Some new stuff you've never seen before. It's going to be great. We can't wait to get to more Library TV. An exciting season is coming up very soon. Thank you guys for joining us all summer long, and we can't wait to see you back here next time, right here on Checkers Library TV.